So is it just me, or is tech just getting super boring? Like when it comes to your phone, your tablet, your computer, generally speaking, it's relatively similar brand to brand. It just matters what you value. Processing powers, cameras are getting better, but they're all getting very similar. And to be honest, for the average consumer, you don't really need a lot of tech. To be honest, you don't need the fastest processing power, the best cameras. You just need something to get you surfing the internet, some Microsoft Word or Excel for your work, and that's pretty much it. And most every laptop computer out there can handle that. And this boring effect is translating for tech YouTubers out there, because really the content that they're putting out isn't reviewing this cutting edge technology as it once was. In fact, many tech YouTubers now are advocating you upgrade your tech less often because it is so similar, and you don't really need to do that as frequently. As a result of this boring effect of your phone, your laptop, and your tablet, tech YouTubers are switching over to reviewing electric vehicles, because here's an innovative area. And the reason why is because we're combining a lot of the tech that we've seen in our phones, our tablets, and our computers into a vehicle. And that's really interesting, and it sparks a lot of curiosity, and it sees whether or not these technologies that we've been using in our phones, tablets, and computers can fix and solve a lot of the issues that we see inside our cars. In fact, a lot of car technology has been mundane and outdated for so long that sometimes we wish we had the technology inside our phones in our vehicles. And it's exciting. Electric vehicles solve a lot of issues that internal combustion engines have. No oil and filter, no filling up gas, no transmission fluids, no leaky fluids, etc. But of course, electric vehicles bring its own challenges like charging infrastructure, etc. I think this switch that tech YouTubers are doing towards electric vehicles is missing a clear mark, and that is a commentary on some level on the political and social aspects of adopting electric vehicles. You see, unlike phones, tablets, and computers, governments aren't mandating anyone to have the latest iPhone, the latest iPad, or the latest MacBook. But by 2035, in some jurisdictions, electric vehicles are being mandated. And that will continue. The pressure for more mandates on electric vehicles will continue to grow unless we as consumers raise some of the serious issues electric vehicles have. And the sole focus these tech YouTubers seem to be having is on the electric vehicle tech and not the broader social and political implications of mandating these EVs. If you want an electric, you need to make sure that there's robust charging infrastructure. And for many places across Canada and parts of the United States, the charging infrastructure just isn't there outside Tesla. And that's a major issue for any consumer to make the switch. Another is a lot of consumers want to buy one vehicle to satisfy all of their needs. It's not that they just use this vehicle to go to the office and come home and pick up groceries. People also go for long drives, they go up to the cottage, and knowing that an electric vehicle can't do that. It can't take you on long drives into the country because the charging infrastructure just isn't there yet. As well, we factor in winter, air conditioning, heating, etc., and the range takes a hit. And that's a major concern. Range anxiety is a major concern for average consumers because an internal combustion engine can do all of those things. In fact, a hybrid car can do all of those things. But these tech YouTubers are only focusing on the tech inside the vehicle, and they're not talking about those broader social implications that mandating electric vehicles will have. And of course, another issue with mandating electric vehicles is the price. Electric vehicles are 25 to 30% more than an average internal combustion engine. And in this economy, with inflation going up and interest rates going up, that's a major consideration for the average consumer right now today. Now, I'm not saying that these tech YouTubers have to adopt some type of political or social philosophy and be critical of government mandates, but they should at least address some of the wider environmental concerns that are happening with mass scale adoption of electric vehicles. It's not enough that we only focus on the tech inside the vehicle. We as consumers have to also think about the environment in which these vehicles will operate and live in. MKBHD recently did her first impressions of the Cybertruck, and it was really interesting, but there were some clear misses that MKBHD didn't include in his video. Why would anyone need a bulletproof truck Like, why would the average consumer need a truck that's bulletproof? Are we fighting wars on a daily basis going to work? Like, the average consumer doesn't need that. But to bulletproof a vehicle means more weight is added onto a vehicle. And the weight factor is huge, is massive. I mean, that's a real consideration when we think of mass adoption of these types of vehicles. They have massive battery packs, and they're in the Cybertruck's case, it's a skeleton on the outside of the vehicle. So they're massive, and their weight is massive as well. So if we want more and more consumers to have Cybertrucks, Hummer EVs, or just electric vehicles in general, their weight is in fact one of the major concerns from a safety perspective for cities to think about. And then you think about how these cars are going to interact with pedestrians and cyclists. Can you imagine getting doored as a cyclist by a Cybertruck? Like, those edges are razor sharp. Like, I don't mean to make lighthearted of this, but those are serious considerations. And then, of course, there's electric fires as a result. More is going to be demanded of tech YouTubers as time progresses, right? It's just not enough for these tech YouTubers to review a product like an electric vehicle and say, well, the tech is great, and then just wipe their hands clean. It's not the same type of review that a laptop, tablet, or iPhone would require. There's more to it than that, especially when you layer on government mandates and how these cars are to interact in their societies. And the final point I'll make about all of this is we also have to think about whether or not consumers will actually choose electric vehicles. You know, it is still 25 to 30% on average more expensive than an internal combustion engine. There's still robust charging infrastructure that needs to be developed. The range anxiety is real, especially in winter and in hotter climates that need AC, that need heat, that need all types that operate in, let's say, minus 10, minus 20 degree weather. Range will take a hit. And finally, the What's Inside family YouTube channel recently did a video on their 6 or 7-year-old Tesla Model X. They purchased this vehicle for $100,000. It's now worth $25,000 to $30,000. So that's a 75% depreciation over 7 years. And also the range, they tested out the range, and the range has gone down 37% over 7 years. 37% is massive. Now, again, you layer on inclement weather, air conditioning, heat, and that could be even more. So are consumers willing to purchase a vehicle knowing that in 6 to 7 years, the range is going to be 37% lower, and the depreciation potentially could be that high, could be as much as 75%? Now, I don't think it will be 75%, but that said, these are real considerations consumers will need to make. So for tech YouTubers out there, reviewing electric vehicles is cool, and it's nice to see the tech inside, but I think as someone who watches those videos, I will demand more out of these tech YouTubers to share some level of political and social commentary about the impact electric vehicles will have in our broader society. But what do you think? Do you think I'm right on the mark or totally off? Let me know in the comment section below, and definitely like and subscribe to my channel.